It's me, Bree McGee. Welcome to my little corner of the world. How are you today? Very well, I hope, and whatever you're up to, I hope it's going swimmingly. This is Bree's Breeze, and today we're going to talk about crowds and crowded places. So grab a drink and a snack and let's get to work. Now this is quite an apt video to make for right now, because I've just got back from seeing a friend and I've had to contend with crowds and crowded places today, especially on public transport. Not my favourite thing in the world, but it's unavoidable. I have to put things in place for myself in order to cope with these spaces that are full of people. We can't get away from that, unfortunately, can we? So we have to find ways to cope, and here are some of the ways that I manage these difficult feelings. Firstly, I have to ask myself, are my thoughts about these places, public places, real, or are they my mind making them to be something they're not? In other words, are my thoughts rational? You know, sometimes we can think, oh, everyone we come across is a danger, we don't want to be around them in case something happens. That's not the case. Most people are very nice and they're probably on their way to work or to visit someone, and they're just popping wherever you are to do something the same way that you are and I am. So I think it's worth asking ourselves, are my thoughts rational that I'm thinking, and are my feelings rational that I'm feeling? That's one way, and to really ask yourself that question. I'm actually still feeling quite anxious from being out. So whilst I put these in place, they're not foolproof, but I'm sharing them anyway in the hopes that it will help someone else. The second thing I tend to do is I choose a time, a day and time where these places I'm visiting will be the least busy. Sometimes you could ring them up and ask them when are your least busy times, or work it out from their opening times. You know, either first thing in the morning, last thing at night. I don't go out at night, so I generally aim for first thing in the morning. And that's a good way because there are usually fewer people there first thing, especially if it opens early. The next thing I do is I see if I can have someone with me. If we've got a support network, that's really helpful. There are a couple of people I can call on to meet me and to spend time with me, and also to be there to support me. And so, say for example, I don't do this very often, but if I'm going to, say, Meadow Hall, I will go with someone. I don't go alone because I know I won't be able to cope with it by myself. So having someone with you can also help to alleviate that stress. The next item is this is something I do, is that I try to make sure that no one comes too close to me. I have about 1.5 foot zone around me that I try to keep clear at all times. It isn't possible on places like public transport, but as and when I can, that's why the anxiety is still here, because I've just come off the bus. But as and when I can, I ensure that people are away from me, at least 1.5 foot away. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but it's just a way for me to keep myself in check. And the last thing that I always put into practice is breath work. A way of breathing, to slow down the breathing so that the anxiety recedes. And breath work is very, very useful in such situations as these, being around lots of people, to just take the time to breathe slower and to just harness that, the power within your capability of controlling your own breath. That's probably the best way, and I think I should have probably put that at the top. But yes, I found that very, very helpful. There are lots of videos on YouTube about this that will help with working that out and practicing it and putting it into play in your everyday escapades around lots of people. So these are the ways that I manage to cope around crowds and crowded people. I don't go out unless I have to. Obviously we have to go out regularly, don't we, for different things, but I keep it to a minimum, especially in my spare time, which I almost always spend at home. And so, on that note, all that's left to say is thank you so much for listening. Sorry. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll be thinking of you. And from my little corner of the world to yours, goodbye. Bye for now.